I really don't know what to say, other than the fact that Jim is not currently here, but he will be at some point, presumably. But it's not. I don't know what to say about Jim. I don't know what to say about the Padres. Here's what I'm going to do first. It's the wrap-up show. Padres lose in one of the wildest back and forth games you can ever watch, and we watched the entire thing play out at Fair Play. Before I start, and here's look at this. Look at this. Wow. Hold on. Wow. Hold on. Wow. Look at you, man. I just said I don't even know what to say.
What's up?
I haven't even started. What I was going to do is I don't even know what to say. I mean, we watched this whole game. I literally spent 4 hours watching this game.
Stupid.
Come home, put my son to sleep, spend an hour with my wife, eat dinner. I'm going to drink a June Shine spicy margarita because I have no other option right now because I don't even know where we start this thing. As the Padres have lost 6 consecutive games, I mean, July's not going to be worse than June because June was awful. And it can always get worse. So I only kind of kid, to be honest. But listen, if you're here, let me just start it, and then you take it wherever you want while I have a sip of this June Shine.
Okay.
If you're here, please subscribe. All right. Seriously, we're literally like a dozen or 2 dozen subscribers away from 5,000 subscribers. You guys have made this possible, so thank you. Please subscribe if you're here. Smash the like button for us. Follow us on Twitter. We do appreciate the supers. Friday night, kicking off 4th of July weekend. If you support this channel, if you're here live or on replay, really do appreciate your support with the super chats or the super thanks. Click the $ below the chat box and take us wherever you want to take us here tonight. There's a million directions you can go. Padres have lost 6 straight. They're finding new, creative, remarkable, forward-thinking ways to lose. I mean, today was a special way to lose a baseball game, and the Padres found a way to do it, Jim.
Yeah, it was a very special loss. It's basically what we could say. And we are, what are we? I think we're 40 away from 5,000.
40 subscribers away.
So that'd be cool. Cheers to that. Yeah. It left me literally speechless at the bar.
Yes, on air. I know.
I was sitting there and I didn't know what to say. And like I'm paid to talk. I had no clue what to say. That was, I mean, it's the worst because it was the last, but I'm trying to think of a loss worse than that with everything that
put that in the chat because maybe there could very well be. It feels like
Giant series.
Yeah, blowing some late leads always sucks. 4-0. I think the 4-2 lead in the 9th against the Giants probably really stings because I think it started this mess.
I think the circumstances with what today's game was, you got AJ Preller in the morning saying fucking nothing. Okay. Mm-hmm. You got the team meeting beforehand, by the way, another team meeting. I
haven't even allowed that to sink into my brain. I won't even accept it. I won't even accept it. Yeah. I'm not accepting it to be anything of relevance.
They had another team meeting.
I can't.
And then they lose in the most fucking dramatic way possible.
It was so dramatic. I mean, it was unbelievable drama. It was incredible theater. Unfortunately, it didn't go the Padres' way. Were they down to a final strike in the 10th?
In the 10th,
I think it was a final strike.
I think in the 10th, there was a final strike, yeah.
The dude hits a 2-run home run straightaway center field. Now, Great American Ballpark is a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that it's always a possibility there. It's always a possibility. They tied the game up on a 2-out, 2-run, 2-strike home run, or I'm going to say it's a 2-strike home run until someone tells me I'm wrong. And then you score again in the 11th inning, which, by the way, for them is not easy, even with runners at second. It's not like that's been a shoo-in this year. And then you have an amazing play at the plate where Gary Sanchez makes a remarkable play on Ellie De La Cruz. The game appeared to be over a moment earlier, and De La Cruz never hit home plate. And then still with 2 outs, the Reds hit a game-winning 2-out, 2-run home run to walk off 7-5.
You want to hear this stat?
Everything that can go wrong did go wrong.
You want to hear this stat?
I cannot wait.
The Reds are the first team in Major League Baseball history to have one rookie hit a game-tying home run and another rookie hit a walk-off home run in extra innings in the same game.
I told you the names. I said, listen, here are the culprits.
Who the fuck is Matt McClain and Spencer Steer?
Those are your culprits. But here's the thing: as Bob Melvin said post game, this is where we should start. As Bob Melvin said post game, and I literally tweeted it. So let me find out exactly what he said, because I quoted him word for word.
Yeah.
Listen, at this point, I'm feeling a little bit of a dynamic play out between Bob Melvin, maybe his coaching staff, and the front office. As crazy as that sounds, it sounds like deja vu all over again. I understand it. But when Bob Melvin says post game today, these guys are getting experience at the big league level in spots they haven't been in, something's gone awry.
Mm-hmm.
And he said it. And I got to think when you say something like that, you're not just talking to me. You're talking to upstairs. And it's likely too little too late. It's not like if upstairs is listening, all of a sudden it's going to change. They don't have any options. They're pitching Ray Kerr and whomever else.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not Ray Kerr's fault. And it's not Bob Melvin's fault. And it is AJ Preller's fault. And it is the injuries, which happen everywhere, have piled up here with Wilson, Suarez, Pomerantz. I get it. That's funny. But, they've piled up here where they don't have a lot of relievers available to them that they thought maybe they would. And it just has not been a good combination.
It goes back to the simple fact is that the depth in this organization at this point in time is dog shit. And who is that on? That's on AJ Preller. You have nobody you can call up, like nobody. And you're starting Reese Kinnear on Tuesday night. Like it's
right.
That's where you look at this thing and say, all right, it's not just that they're playing bad, which obviously they are. And you got players that are just, Manny went over 5 again tonight. I think he's had 1 extra base hit in the last 3 weeks. It seems like,
it seems like
it goes to the bigger point that, may not be talked about enough. And it's the fact that this team has a horrific farm system with no depth that is currently ready to help the major league club. Now they might have lower guys like Merrill and Salas, but you got nobody that can help you right now.
Like Ellie De La Cruz ain't walking through that door.
No,
he's just not.
You got nobody. You got nobody offensively. You got nobody on the pitching side that is like knocking at the door, forcing their way up to the big leagues. Not happening.
No, no one is close to make an impact like Fernando Tatis Jr. made.
Oh God, no.
Okay,
Nobody
is. No, there's no Chris Paddock, and that wasn't great. Although it worked for a half season.
Like there's literally nothing, John.
There's no one there. And now here's the thing: you could argue in a month those people will exist because you're going to have to trade off major league talent, and you could go get back maybe someone, not just someone, multiple players that can contribute soon at the major league level. That's what they're going to have to do.
Doesn't this, after watching the Reds today, and it's easy to say this, but don't the Padres just seem
they're flat
to you?
Old,
like they just look old.
They are old. The Padres are not young. The Padres are not young. And the Reds are fun and exciting right now. And despite that all, I thought the Padres by and large played. There were certainly some moments in there where it felt as if they had earned it with what they did in the 10th inning. But I'll tell you, they kind of unearned it, if that's a word. It is with unearned runs. They unearned it. I'm making it up here. When freaking Juan Soto and you lose a game in extra innings, you don't play in extra innings if you can save yourself a run. And Juan Soto and Trent Grisham have what happened? Bob Melvin said post-game it was like a sunball. It wasn't a sunball. They didn't communicate properly. It has to be caught.
Whose ball is that?
It's the center fielder's ball because it's the center fielder. So he always has the right of way.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's hit right to Juan Soto, but if the center fielder wants it, it's his.
And look, I don't really care whose ball that was. It needs to be caught by one of those guys. That's
has to be caught.
End of discussion. I don't give a fuck.
Caught at Lower Marion High School.
You're catching that ball.
No, I'm not.
Probably
but
not,
it is caught. It is caught by the Lake Elsinore Storm and it's, by the way, it's caught by the San Diego State Aztecs, and it's caught by the UCSD Tritons, and it's caught by the La Jolla Engineers, which isn't their name.
La Jolla Country Day.
Exactly. All right, let's get to some of the supers, guys. If you are here, please subscribe here on Padres content, and we really do appreciate the supers. Happy 4th, yay! Happy 4th of July weekend. Be safe. We'll be talking Padres baseball with you here tonight. And we appreciate the supers. If you want to support the channel and if you want to provide, direction with the show over the course of the next hour. Jake, thank you for your membership. He says the Padres are trash. Thank you, Jake.
You're right. They suck.
It's hard to argue. They've lost 6 straight. They're 8 games under. They're 8.5 games out of a playoff spot. It might be 9 games. It was 8.5 earlier in the day.
It's 9 games, John.
It's 9. Thank you. Adrian, thank you. What does this mean?
In Sala, we boil Preller.
I don't know what it means, but it doesn't sound great for Preller. Jared, thank you. He says, to all the Melvin haters, are you suggesting that Melvin put in Ray Kerr versus their best hitters in the 9th?
No,
right, because it was the 10th, because Hader pitched the 9th.
When you have a tie game in the 9th inning, the book says put your closer in.
Yeah, otherwise you might not get to your closer.
Because exactly. Because you're not playing. For
the next inning.
That's what the book says.
Now, what's the harder inning? Runner at second as opposed to no runners on. But yeah, you got to get there.
But if you don't put in Hader and they lose the game in the 9th inning, bottom of the 9th, we're fucking
and we've already seen that happen.
You're destroying Melvin today. By the way, Brett L. I asked whose ball is that to John because I wanted to hear his answer. Okay, not ball? Like the ball in center field or the ball in left field, left center.
Right,
not an idiot.
No, you're not. By the way, there it can be debatable. If a ball's literally hit at a fielder, you could say that the left fielder has the right of way. But I mean, typically the center fielder has the right of way.
Just catch the ball. Like, end of discussion.
Right. That's exactly right. But wait, let me hear. No, Jared, you're right. This isn't Melvin. This is literally the opposite of Bob Melvin. What happened today? It's AJ Preller.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, and by the way, I don't even know if today in a single, is it AJ Preller that the ball's not caught in left and you got multiple leads in the extra,
that's not him.
In extra innings and you can't win the game? I mean, I guess. Gus, thank you. He says, before we blame Hader, you think anyone even asked him? Well, what are we asking of him? He threw 20 pitches in the 10th, having not pitched in 10 days or in the 9th. You really think he's getting a full inning after that? I don't. It didn't happen in the postseason last year. I don't even think it was I don't even think they thought of it to pose a hypothetical.
No. There was like, how many pitches did he throw? 20? Okay, he's done.
Hit the showers.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
Now, could you argue the merits of the fact that Josh Hader literally had like a long Q&A with Kevin Acee, and he was like, listen, the games matter in August and September. Well, not this year.
No.
So, like, if I'm going to pitch 3 days in a row, I'll do it in August and September. Well, not this year. They're not going to matter.
No.
So don't stress yourself in August.
But again, it's. I mean, this sucks. This is the worst. But like, the last thing for me personally, as a fan, the one thing that I hate is that false hope. Because then the crash is even worse.
Right.
Like, if you don't have it this year, just end it. Just don't give me false hope. Like, don't give me the hope of this team potentially getting in. You know, if you're gonna end it, just end it. Like, make it quick. Make the death quick. And it feels like the death's gonna happen pretty quick here.
Yeah, but and you're right, but it's going to be prolonged the way we like autopsy this, like we're autopsying the season in season.
I know, which is ridiculous because you don't. I mean, you said it last night to me. You're like, dude, what if they win the World Series? Like,
I mean, that's the thing. It's like as terrible as it is, and as unlikely as it is. Let me present Exhibit A. The Philadelphia Phillies of the National League, who have won 18 of 23 to pull to within 1.5 games entering the day of both the Giants and the Dodgers. They were awful.
And guess what?
Did they win today?
I think they might have won today. And you also play the Phillies for 4 games in 3 days to start the second half,
which is fine. And I agree that furthers the point of the Padres are in the toilet. But on the other side of the coin is, the Phillies were worse than the Padres 23 games ago. Not even close. Yeah. They've played 13 over.
And they did this thing. They did this last year too.
They did do this last year. So I'm saying, listen, it's unlikely, but there's going to be a team or two that you could cherry pick that are going to have a nice 30-game run in them, even in the second half, that maybe haven't played well. Now, I'm not selling false hope. and we've all watched it with our own two eyes. Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No. That's the best way to put it. And with each passing day, now it's like the whole. I mean, it isn't even the first half anymore. It's now the second half. Like we're on the down slope of the roller coaster. We've just begun that.
Like I literally can't sit here and tell you guys that and try to sell you guys this false hope, like some might do. Like, well, if they could do it, and we've said that, like, yeah, they could do it, but we're also being real with you, and spade's a spade here. They're not a good baseball team. They're 9 games out of a playoff spot. The division is toast. They don't look good. You're telling me that the team that you're watching right now, you think that they have a shot? I mean, their bullpen is destroyed. They still can't hit with runners in scoring position. They let a guy with a 7 ERA shove today for 6 2/3.
Lugo is incredible. I mean, you can't have quality starts
great.
like that and lose, and it's every night.
But if you're telling me that the pitching staff's going to be this great all season long, then that's awesome. But I don't think pitching staffs always are like the most amazing thing day in and day out. They're going to have hiccups.
Yeah, but even if they don't, I mean, their offense hasn't even picked up the.
That's what pitching. I mean. Like you, even if they do have hiccups, like they're not a team that's able to pick them up.
Here's why you're here. Let me tell you why you're here and why you should be with us over the next month. And like we said, we're not selling anything. We're not selling iced Eskimos.
I need to plug my computer in. Hold on.
Okay, we're not. I mean, we tell it like it is. Here's what matters over the next month: the direction of the franchise. AJ Preller said today, they could pivot to selling, if it heads in that direction. Who are you kidding? No, what you could do is pivot to buying. The position you are in right now, if there are 2 positions to be in, selling or buying, the position you should be pointed to is selling. And you should put all of your efforts into determining the value of the players that you have that can provide value back, especially players that are on expiring deals like Josh Hader and Blake Snell. So that's what matters over the next month is what type of moves can they make to put themselves in a position where they got a better shot in 2024. So the next month for me, Jim, as I was saying as you left, is about finding out who you're selling and what you're going to get for those players. Don't tell me you're going to pivot to selling if you have to. No, you would pivot to buying if you have to. The direction right now is selling. And if they're able to make some, again, fruitful moves and move Josh Hader and move Blake Snell and turn those around for players that benefit them in the upper level of the minors that could contribute in 2024, there could be some winning in there. But again, you're asking AJ Preller to be pulling the strings on those. But I don't buy this idea that they could pivot to selling if they need. They should have already pivoted. It's July and they're 9 games out of a playoff spot.
Yeah, this is it's a harsh reality that slapped them in the face pretty quickly here. And I'm sure that obviously no one thought that they were going to be at this point at this early or at this point of the season. But good GMs know when to call it. And good GMs know when that ain't it. They have to know the pulse of the team and realize when they should go and make a trade and try to go all in and when not to go all in. In 2015, he was clueless to that. Now he's a first-time GM, so maybe you give him some slack there. But again, completely clueless to the fact.
But that was on the offseason. That wasn't in the That wasn't at the trade deadline.
Oh, it was the trade deadline.
Well, no, he just didn't sell. You're talking about Upton?
Yeah, all their pieces.
Parts. He sold off parts at the deadline, didn't he?
Not many.
I'd have to look at
the one guy that the one guy they could actually got something for was Justin Upton, and they didn't. Now 2021, I will say, maybe to his credit, he saw the team going in a downward spiral like we did and didn't make any moves. Now you could also on the flip side and say, well, he should have made a move because the entire clubhouse revolted against him for not doing a move.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe he saw even if I make a move, this ain't it. But you can also go the flip side there, like I said, and the team wanted them to make a move, and he didn't. And he made a move for Adam Frazier, but not the big one, and they completely just went in the tank. And then obviously last year was Soto, But yeah, man, it's I'm running out of like things to say because it's all the same thing. It's fucking incredible, right?
It's really, I mean, it's not, I mean, I don't think it's the same thing about, I mean, our conversation 10 days ago was how are they going to dig out of this? Our conversation 10 days later is what moves are they going to make and who will be making the moves and what's this organization going to look like come October 1st? Who's going to be in charge? Will AJ Preller keep it? I mean, everything has really changed, to be honest. Jake, thank you. Says San Diego closer to worst record in National League, 5 games. Then wild card, the third wild card, 9 games. Yeah, it's bad. I mean, I get there's literally a plausible path to the worst team in the National League, which is absurd.
Like if they don't play well against the Rockies coming up here, did they play the Rockies?
No, not before the deadline.
Oh, sorry. I'm thinking about I'm thinking about
Mets.
The Mets. And they do play the Rockies. They play the Rockies right at the trade deadline.
No, but that's after I'm saying the All-Star break. That's a month away.
Yeah. Month away. You're right. But what is their stupid thing? Yeah, they are 5 games from being the worst team in baseball in the worst team in National League.
Yeah.
5
exactly.
games. The Rockies are 33-51. The Padres are 37-45.
If that was a 5-game series coming up, that would be pretty interesting. Be
very interesting. When you're 5 games out from being the worst team in the National League, and you're 9 games out from a playoff spot.
Yeah, that's how you know what's going bad.
You tell me what they should do.
Exactly. Ishmael, thank you. That's a good way of looking at it. Is Bomel going to take the most heat, or will AJ? AJ will take the most heat. Not to say that Bob Melvin won't have heat because he already does, but AJ will take the most heat. I mean, will they both go? Will one go? Will they both be safe? I think that's still debatable. I think that's very debatable, but I think in terms of heat, AJ Preller is going to get it well beyond Bob Melvin.
I think after today, because there's a lot that happened today, right? The game was like 3 games in 1. It felt like
it really was.
It was crazy. We were watching the whole time, and it was just like, what the fuck? But listening to Preller today, you're thinking to yourself, is this a guy who really thinks that his job's on the line? He's got him and Seidler. And Seidler has said it multiple times how much faith he has in AJ Preller. You don't think they've talked in the last 2 weeks here? Of course they have. I think that if the more we hear Preller talk, which might not be much, but I mean we're gonna hear him. We're gonna hear him after the draft, and we're gonna hear him at the trade deadline. So we're gonna at least hear him 2 more times. This, right?
That's more than that probably.
I just, man, I mean, today him talking was an embarrassment, I thought. But again, after today, I don't know if I'd be surprised if he came back.
You don't know if you'd be surprised if he came back after today. Don't kid yourself. This goes back to the original conversation about like Jace Tingler's a 10-year manager, or this team is in this conference until they're not. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm just
positioning is always a certain way. Like Peter Seidler backing AJ Preller doesn't mean that Peter Seidler wouldn't move off AJ Preller.
Right. I think I'm doing what I do as a sports fan. I just expect the worst and hope for the best type of thing.
So you're expecting the worst is basically Preller returning.
Well, the worst is status quo and nothing changes. So I guess that's Preller.
So
yeah. I think that you make no move here, and the only thing that you do is you use a bullshit excuse for why the team didn't make the postseason this year.
I don't see it. I don't see a BS excuse when you draw the way they've drawn. I think the fan base is too in tune with what's happening.
Send out apology cards to every single fan?
No, I think what you do is you just move off the GM, and that's how you do it. That's how you hold someone accountable. That's what people want. They want accountability. Mm-hmm. If you hold someone accountable, it probably buys you time and then gets you into the next season. People say, okay, look at the new direction. We're still spending. This new GM is going to do what AJ could not do. And there'd be a level of general excitement. I don't think the same amount of excitement. It's not like you're trading for Juan Soto and Alexander Bogaerts and Fernando Tatis Jr. when you change GMs, but I think it's better than just bringing the GM back from a ticket sales perspective, and more than just ticket sales. Juan Soto walks, thank you. He says, Hollywood can't write worse ways to lose. It would be hard today. Mm-hmm. It would be very hard.
Mm-hmm.
It really would, especially when you get a second out in the 11th inning on Gary Sanchez's play, only to then allow a walk-off home run with 2 outs in the 11th inning. That was not good. I don't know if I'm saying this right, Duvall. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We appreciate your super chat, really do. He says, I turned off the game as I had work when I saw 2 outs and up by 2. I thought that was the game. The game was ours. Shocked. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was over too. That's how baseball is. Got a multiple run lead with 2 outs in the 9th or 10th inning or whatever, you think you won the game. It doesn't always work that way.
I was ready to come on tonight and be like, look, my feelings don't really change unless they go on a crazy run. But at least tonight, you saw something that you haven't seen all year, which is fight, which is scoring runs in extra innings, which is, scoring runs while you're down late in the game against a closer who has not blown a save all year. And I was ready to go on here and say all those things, but also like trying to, okay, just while that's all great, they got to like put this together for the next 2 straight weeks. Now it's
2 weeks in a day.
Okay, well, yeah, it's fine. It's easy. It's easy. I mean, just what the fuck, dude? This fucking team, man.
It's not good. It's really not. And today is as bad as it can get. In terms of losing a game, like the way you lost this game, not as bad as you can get with the season, but you can't lose a game much worse than that. Jared, thank you. He says, I know people were whining about Hader in the 9th inning. I don't think they were whining about Hader in the 9th. I think they were whining about Hader not returning in the 10th, but I think it's a little bit of like yelling at clouds. I mean, if that's where you're going to point your anger, it's like, well, have you watched since the trade deadline last year? He's never pitched 6 outs ever. If he didn't do it against maybe he did against the LA Dodgers. Did he, Jim, in game 3 or game 4 go 6 outs?
He went 4 outs.
Okay, so against the LA
4
Dodgers,
or 5 outs,
who won 199 games last year, and he's going 4 or 5 outs. Do you think he's going 6 innings today? I don't. Or 6 outs and 40 pitches? I don't. They don't use them that way.
And Jared, if you're referring to like save Hader for the 10th when you have the lead, that's not
Nobody knew they'd be a 10th inning.
And going into the extra innings, you're telling me like this team hasn't scored at all in extra innings all year. I mean,
you're telling me you're going to pitch Ray Kerr?
You don't do that. No, you don't do that. Especially a tie game. You make sure you get to the 10th because there's no tomorrow. And if Ray Kerr gave up a home run and he pitched the 9th inning,
people would.
Oh my God!
They'd be a minor riot. It wouldn't be large, but it'd be a small riot. One car would have burned.
And you haven't used Hader in 10 fucking days.
10 days.
So when else are you gonna when are you gonna use him?
And then you might say, well, if he didn't pitch in 10 days, why wouldn't he get 2 innings? Because he hadn't pitched in 10 days. So they're not going to force
20 pitches.
Here's the thing. Let's be honest with each other, guys. They're going to trade him in a month. Why would they ever jeopardize his health?
Right.
He's also a free agent. Why would he allow himself to be jeopardized? It's actually working in concert with each other. The Padres don't want to use him. They'll trade him.
Dude.
And he doesn't want to be used.
You're going to get
a lot.
Pretty good haul for Josh Hader.
And for Blake Snell.
Blake Snell and Josh Hader are two easily the best pitcher, starting pitcher, and best reliever on the market right now.
Exactly.
Easily.
Now, they're rentals, and the Padres are coming at it from a position of we really should move them. I mean, if anyone looks at the Padres system and what they've invested here, I mean, you should be calling because I think ultimately they have to move the player. Now, could you get a bidding war for those players? Yeah, they've been great.
I mean, you look at a team like Texas, who just traded for Aroldis Chapman today. Their bullpen ERA is 24th in baseball. You don't think that they're going to make a call on Josh Hader?
Right.
Of course they are.
I mean, they should. Everyone should be calling it. If you got a chance to make the postseason,
right.
Josh Hader's probably an upgrade.
You don't think the Rays are going to be like, hey, a reunion with Blake Snell would be pretty cool for the final half of the season?
Right.
You know?
Can you imagine that?
Oh, my God. I mean, there will be teams that will pay a lot for Blake Snell and Josh Hader because those guys are viewed by, I'm sure, other teams as like, that's the missing piece we need. Like, we need a shutdown, end of the game closer. Boom, right there. And then same thing with Blake Snell. We need a starter to really
go 5 innings
to really round out this rotation. And boom, there it is right there.
No, I agree with you. Guys, if you're here, we're going to get back to the super chats. We really do appreciate your support of the channel. We also really appreciate your support of our title sponsor, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, who's frustrated. We all are. I've been texting back and forth with Mark here today. I want to say Mark at some point recently has been in the chat here tonight as well. So, Mark, thank you seriously for your support of our work and this channel, because without your support, we would have never gotten this thing off the ground. And here's the deal. If you are in the chat live or on replay and you have any insurance needs, you got to get in contact with Mark Nimitz and Farmers Insurance. And there's a few reasons why. First of all, Mark's a San Diegan. He is a lifelong Padres fan, and he is an amazing insurance agent. And how do we know that? Because I've got insurance through Mark, and I've got 3 policies: life insurance, homeowners insurance, earthquake insurance with Mark. Here's the deal. You can switch your insurance to Mark. He's going to save you money. He can save you a lot of money. If you ever have a claim, he's going to take care of everything. Service and communication are so important when you have a claim. I had one last year because we had a flood in our place. He took care of everything. It can be a really hard process, but not when you have a really good insurance agent. So click the link in the description down below. Again, if you support the channel, please support our title partner, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance. Click the link in the description down below. Free quotes are available online. Get in contact with him at any point. He'll talk to you about the Padres. We'll talk to you about saving money on your insurance. If it's a renewal, if it's a new policy, get in contact with our friend Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance.
Yeah, all his information always is above my head. Nimitz at farmersagent.com. You just reached the century mark as far as reviews. 5 out of 5 stars. He is the guy to go to for all your insurance needs. Hit him up, Nimitz at farmersagent.com. When you reach out to him, let him know that John and Jim from the Wrap-Up Show sent you.
It really, kids you not. I mean, you need a policy, Mark will take care of you immediately, and he will save you money. I mean, it's the easiest thing in the world. So you need a policy, please contact Mark Nimitz. There's a link down below. I want to get back to these supers as the Padres lose in 11 today in Cincinnati on Taylor Swift night. In Cincinnati, that's why they moved the game up till 2 o'clock because of Taylor Swift. I mean, that's so like, what? That's so like the state of Major League Baseball right now. You got like the greatest team in baseball history playing at 2 o'clock in the afternoon because of Taylor Swift. Okay, let's get to JD Gaucho. It's actually 5 o'clock Eastern, but you get 5 o'clock on a Friday. JD Gaucho, thank you. He says, numb, speechless, wow. JD Gaucho, thanks, by the way, for hanging out today at Fair Play. Good to see you. And yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, that's how, if you watch the game, that's how you should feel.
Yeah, it's just like, go back and listen to our podcast at about, what was it, 5?
No, yeah, 5:30.
Is it 5:30 in the 5:30?
5:15, 5:30.
Yeah, go back and listen to the third hour of the show today on John and Jim when they hit a walk-off home run. Like, I was like, what?
Right.
And I wasn't doing that to as like a bit. I like literally, I did not know what to say. And you were like, I was speechless because it was incredible that actually happened. You're like, no, it's not gonna. It actually happened. Oh fuck!
It happened. Unfortunately, we watched it with our own 2 eyes somehow.
Yeah.
And Gus, you're right, and thank you, Gus, for the super. He says selling Snell and Hader won't fix root problems, though. You're right, and you can get those trades wrong, and you're right. That doesn't change everything. Of course, it doesn't. Stars don't fix everything. How can top 10 prospects that are going to be sent to AA and AAA potentially fix everything? But I mean, here's the thing: you have to start somewhere, and by holding on to these players at this point, you're literally holding yourself back, and you're preventing the team from reaching potential or its full potential in 2024. In my mind, you could argue if you can do it with Preller, if you could even do it with Seidler, or whatever you want to argue, or Melvin, you can argue it all. But you can't argue that Josh Hader and Blake Snell will be turning in their rental keys on October 3rd and driving their minivans back to wherever they live.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they haven't, but you get my point. Snell to Pacific Northwest, Hader to wherever the hell he lives.
Right.
You're never going to see him again.
No. And you weren't going to see him again even if they won the World Series this year.
Correct.
And it's so pathetic that this team is filled with guys like Rougned Odor and Matt Carpenter and Nelson Cruz and Trent Grisham, even though Trent Grisham is playing better, and Austin Nolas and Brandon Dixon. Like, really?
Right.
Are you kidding me right now? They're forced to play Rougned Odor because they have nobody else.
Correct. Yeah, and they've been forced to play guys like Gary Sanchez, who's had moments, still hitting 200 or under.
Yeah, and Bob Melvin talked about it yesterday. He's like, these guys are dying because I can't get them rest because we have nobody behind them and they have to play every day because we need to win baseball games. And if I sit a guy, it's like the end of the world. Like Tatis has played every single game in right field. Yesterday was his first day as DH.
I know, which is
And
amazing.
But Melvin's like, dude, he needs a fucking day. And then today, Kim gets a day because he's seemingly like one of the only guys on this team is like busting his ass every single fucking play. And he's got a little tight quad or a hammy or whatever. And he had to actually go in there because they needed to pinch hit him because they didn't trust whoever he was pinch hitting for.
Right. Right. So what are we saying? That they got nowhere to turn. They have nowhere to turn. Yeah, they did. No, I mean that's accurate, and that's not Bob Melvin's fault. And I know what I want to say. I hate to be the guy to burst the bubbles. I think I did on John and Jim. I hate to do it when we're down like this. I really do. I'm not trying to do it. But I need to make people aware about Shohei Ohtani's future.
Oh yeah.
It's not in San Diego, unfortunately. Because you can't play like this and then have a player that can literally have the pick of the litter and where money isn't even going to be the ultimate determining factor. And you already had players last offseason say no to San Diego, i.e. Aaron Judge, i.e. Trey Turner, and now Shohei Ohtani, coming off this train wreck of a season, is going to elect to spend the remainder of his prime playing for AJ Preller. It's not happening.
But
and
John,
I wish I could change that. I really do. If this team was going to play for a World Series or positioned differently, and Peter Seidler was continue to spend like this, then maybe the world is different. But it's not different, unfortunately.
John, did you not see Ohtani's 500-foot home run tonight?
It's great. They lost.
They lost 6-2. It's like my favorite. It's like the most amazing thing ever. It's like all I see on SportsCenter or the highlights is like.
First player since 1881 to homer and strike out 9 in an 8-4 loss.
8-4 loss.
It's incredible. Trout and Ohtani are the first ever players to both hit triples in a first inning since 1888 in the American League in a 14-4 loss. It's amazing. It's just they're going to finish under 500. You watch. They're coming back to earth. And I mean, this guy can't carry them single-handedly. We've seen that the last 5. He's hit 30 home runs in a half a year, and they're not. And he's keeping them afloat. But it's not like they're 20 games over.
No, I can't wait to watch him at Petco though.
Monday,
yeah.
Joshua, thank you. He says the Preller interview today was just a lot of beating around the bush. I need to be honest. I haven't listened to one thing. Now I saw some of the quotes. I haven't listened to one thing, but I've heard AJ Preller a lot, obviously, in his time in San Diego. I've never heard him say anything really of substance, to be honest.
I fucking called it last night. I was like, or I called it whenever, like, hey, whenever Preller speaks, don't expect anything. We've like seen Preller and heard Preller a million times. He never says anything. And you know what? It's by design. It's by design, guys. He actively tells people, like, sometimes he'll be like, yeah, guys, I'm not saying anything. Like he won't say things, and he'll actively not say things on the record. It's just what he has decided he's going to do. That's his style now. He will never answer a question truthfully. He deflects all the time. When he's asked a point blank question, it turns into this random answer about something else. And that's by design. That's what he has chosen to do with the media, regardless of who's interviewing him. And it doesn't matter. He is not going to talk. And that's what's going to happen. And he'll only time he'll talk is potentially he'll open up a little bit when the season ends. But in season, expect nothing. Expect absolutely nothing.
I mean, come on. I mean, the last thing of substance I remember him saying is he envisions Eric Hosmer being the first baseman when they win the World Series. And I'm like,
that was the offseason.
And that's it. And that's like the greatest thing he's ever said. And I mean, come on. And he also said during the season of Marty Caswell that he sees Jace Tingler as a decade-long manager of the Padres. He was fired 6 weeks later. So it's like, come on. You know, that's why I'm not listening because it's not even irrelevant. It's not. It's irrelevant. He doesn't work for himself. He works for someone else.
And if you want to be inspired or have faith in this organization, just don't listen to him talk. Because if you listen to him talk, you're not going to get that.
I know. It's true. Richard, thank you. He says Padres became, let's see, too arrogant and cocky after the LA series win. I don't think they won that series, by the way. I think they lost it. They won game 1.
They still haven't beat the Dodgers in a series.
LA
like
series win in the postseason. Okay. It feels like forever ago.
Yeah.
Dodgers have endless finances and a very deep farm system loaded with MLB ready talent, which is fine. I will not disagree with you. I know that they've had their struggles here, if we're being honest, compared to where they've been this year. I'm not going to fight the Padres are better here. No, today's not the fight for that. Now, last year it was nice to beat them in the postseason. It really was. I think it really made their season disappointing, and they had to speak to it. And that's a feather. It is. But I'm not going to come on the air and say that the Padres are in a better position than the Dodgers because I don't believe it.
They had it right there in front of them for the taking. You beat the Dodgers in the postseason.
They're positioned.
You have this confidence going into the offseason. You make a couple big-time moves. You have Fernando Tatis Jr. coming back. You have the core of your team coming back. Juan Soto for a full season. Josh Hader for a full season. You had it all right in front of you to take that next step and truly compete with the Dodgers, which you have not done in a decade plus. And you fumbled the bag. And you completely shit on yourself.
No, they did. And I think if I had the benefit of hindsight, it's almost like they spent their offseason we're obviously in the postseason. So, we're making moves based on our postseason. But it's like they weren't thinking 162. They weren't thinking depth. They were thinking short series. In a short series, I can sell you on it right now. I'll sell you on it. Snell, Musgrove, Darvish, great. Hader, back end. Suarez, theoretically back end. And superstars offensively. 1 or 2 have big games. It sounds good. Hey, I can win a 5-game series against the Dodgers. I got good starting pitching. I got back end relief. And I got stars. They can come up with big hits and big moments. Sounds nice. But in 162, when it doesn't work, it really, there's a lot of holes. It's been glaring.
I wonder if, what's the main problem right now? The depth, the bullpen. I wonder if any of that concern, was brought up in the offseason and they're like, nah, we're fine. It's fine. Whatever.
Well, again, you're coming off an accomplishment where I don't think the first order of business, man, our depth really hurt us. I don't know. It's almost like you're blinded by your finish.
Right. And you didn't know Robert Suarez was going to get injured.
No, and that's not and do I think they'd be better with Robert Suarez? I do. If he pitched like last year, I think, and look at this month, dude, the bullpen has been a disaster.
Because they would have had at least a couple more wins with Robert Suarez.
They'd have a couple more wins, and which means a couple more losses. So, you know what? Maybe they are.
Maybe they're 500
better.
But 500 is still not good enough.
They're not a 500. No. They're not a 500 team, but, he's not like a 6 WAR guy right now.
If Manny still has an OPS of 660, you're still going to suck.
I mean, it's crazy. What I wanted to address real quick, we'll get back to the Supers in a moment. Subscribe if you're here. We're pushing towards 5,000 subscribers. If we could do it tonight, that'd be awesome because of you guys. So if you're here, please subscribe. Thank you for the Supers. Really do appreciate them. Everyone, by the way, have an amazing 4th of July weekend, despite the train wreck you're watching on field.
Yeah.
There was a comment, I can't even find it, Jim, but there was just someone in the chat that said, Jim, I mean, how does Nick Martinez not start the 9th inning? He only threw 14 pitches. I mean, I don't know how else I can say this. You have Josh Hader. I don't care if Nick Martinez had thrown 1 pitch to get the prior 5 outs. You have Josh Hader. Nick Martinez, last time I checked, has pitched really poorly this month. Pitched really well today. That doesn't guarantee he pitches well in the 9th inning. You open yourself to absurd second guessing by pitching Nick Martinez into a 3rd inning of work. By the way, they use this guy like he's Gumby. They use him like he's got some rubber arm. So
if you're
I don't think they misused it at all.
Dude, Nick Martinez pulled out of the WBC because he thought he was going to be a starter for this team.
Right.
He planned his whole offseason to be a starter. He started the year as a starter, and then they had a bullpen need, and they put him in the bullpen. Like the yo-yoing of Nick Martinez in and out of the bullpen and starting over the last 2 years, man, if I'm him, I'm like, what the fuck, guys?
Yeah, no. That's a good point. They really haven't used him effectively or well, and it's caught up to him. Real quick, I do want to remind our viewers about our partnership with our friends over at Aura. We told you about Mark Nimitz being a San Diegan. Aura, their co-founder Will, is a San Diegan. This is a great company. Offices in Liberty Station. They have a July 4th sale going on literally as we speak, whether you watch this live or on replay. Tomorrow, July 4th sale going on right now, 25% off with code USA25. Everything they have is plant-based. Everything they have is for your health and your family's health. If you're looking to get healthier this summer, their probiotic I've taken for over a year, every single day. My wife's been taking it maybe for 2 months now. Great product, great for your digestion. There's a million reasons to take a probiotic. They have a million other products, whether it's pre-workout supplements, proteins for after workouts, omega-3 oils. If you take the fish oil, they have the omega-3 oil. They have sleep pills and immunity pills, and something for everyone. Shop as you watch the wrap-up show, ora.organic, or click the link in the description down below. Will, we really appreciate your support of this channel. For our listeners, if you've been hearing our messaging about Aura, a local company that does business with us in the wrap-up show, if you're looking for a way to support what we do, if you want to get healthier, just check it out. Browse and get 25% off with code USA25.
Yeah, Will's a huge Padres fan, huge supporter of Wrap Up Show, obviously. So go support Will, one of our sponsors. www.ora.organic. Everything you need to live a healthy lifestyle. Go check it out. Pick up some supplements. And I believe they're having a July 4th sale going on this weekend. So go there right now and take advantage of it.
Yes, they are. They're having the 25% off with promo code USA25. JD Gasha, thank you again. He says, better interview Preller or Kleofkoff. Can you say that, please? I mean, we've never even heard George Kleofkoff being interviewed. Me and Jim, I haven't.
I saw him one time.
We saw him at a Holiday Bowl event, or I did. Where did you see him?
All right, no, who was it? I saw him at Snapdragon Stadium on opening day versus Arizona.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was talking to, I believe, Kurt Kenny in a corner of the press box. Tall guy.
I did not realize that. I knew Craig Thompson, who was the commissioner of the Mountain West at the time, was there. I didn't realize George.
Oh,
was there.
Maybe that was Craig. Maybe that was Craig Thompson.
Craig Thompson's a very tall guy.
Okay,
I think it would be some. Now it's not crazy because Arizona in the Pac-12, so it's not crazy. But to be at a road venue, I think is a little crazy, to be honest.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Although, and especially with the realignment stuff playing out, I think you're thinking Craig Thompson.
I think I was. Yeah,
right, but that makes sense. Alejandro, thank you for your super chat. Thanks for hanging out, guys. He says, team is 10-15 since my kid was born. Welcome to being a Padres fan. This is the same thing, by the way, with our buddy Will over at Aura, who's got a newborn. And Alejandro, congratulations. And it's not your kid's fault, I promise you. It's more Jim's fault than your kid's fault.
No, it's your kid's fault, Alejandro.
It's your kid's fault. 10-15.
Let's be real here.
They were like a 500 team without him.
What's your kid's name so I can call him out?
Bob. AJ.
No, put in the chat, Alejandro. What is your child's name? Your newborn.
Oh, I thought you meant put in the chat like everyone guessed.
No.
What do you think Alejandro's newborn's name is?
I don't know.
No, I know. I'm saying for the chat. Man, welcome to being a Padres fan. Yeah. Gosh.
Santiago.
Santiago, that's right.
Santiago.
He told us this before.
I'm disappointed in you, man. It's your fault.
He went to Hader in the 9th. He went to Kerr in the 11th.
Everyone blames Santiago.
We're kidding. We're kidding. We are absolutely kidding. I don't know. Can they win a game on the road? Can they win a game on the road? They've been fine on the road. Can they win one of these next 2 games? At 10 in the morning, Michael Wacha, who's been great.
Who fucking cares?
I mean, they should win. They should try to win at some point.
I know. I'm kidding. Obviously, people do give a shit, but yeah, man. I mean, this is the road trip from hell, and you just experienced the road trip from hell in San Francisco, albeit only 4 games.
Yeah, true. Is that right?
Yeah, because they played at home. They
came home, yeah.
And they went. Yeah, it's just a weird thing. But again, I mean, hey. You got to win the next 2 games. You got to take 2 or 3 from the Angels. You got to take at least 2 or 3 from the Mets.
Bro, you got to take 2 out of 3 from everyone.
And then you got to take 2. You got to take 3 or 4 from Philly, and then you got to take 2 or 3 from Toronto, and then you got to take 2 or 3 from Detroit, and then you got to take 2 or 3
No,
from
hold on. What's
Seattle
2 out of
or
3 out
Pittsburgh.
of what's 2 out of 3 for 80 games? Well, 2 out of 3 for 75 games is 50 and 25. So it's like 52 and 26 is 78 games. But there's the rough math. So let's say 53 and 27. So winning 2 out of every 3 is 53 and 27, which gets them to a nice 90 wins.
So what you're saying is, John, is they can't lose another series all year long unless they sweep series.
Right, exactly. 2 out of 3. Just they don't. But here's the thing: they don't have to be perfect. You can drop 1 of every 3.
Just don't have a more than a longer than a 3-game winning streak all year long.
Right.
Do it.
True.
I dare you. I fucking dare you guys to win 2 or 3 from every single team you play from now on. I fucking dare you.
What will you do?
No, I'm
No,
daring
what will you
this
do?
team.
Because if they don't lose a series again this year,
If they don't lose a series again this year, I'll get a tattoo of your name on my forehead.
I like that. Does that include this Red Series, or are we starting when they get home?
This has to no, John. This is starting right now. If they win every single series for the remainder of the year,
for a tattoo on your forehead,
I will get I will get a John and Jim tattoo on my lower back. There we go. I'll get a tramp stamp.
This is literally like the premise of the movie Major League, is it not? I mean,
No,
let's prove Jim wrong.
I like this. Michael said, "Shave my beard." I'll do that. I'll shave my beard. I'll get a clean shave because I haven't shaved my beard in 10 years.
That's amazing.
I'll shave my beard and my head.
I'll laugh because we'll be watching the Padres in the postseason if they win 2 out of every 3 games from here on out. I would think. Moni, thank you for the super chat. Moni says to go from the NLCS to rooting for HSK to be traded at the deadline is a shot to the heart. If they punt on 23, it shows they're not completely brain dead. If they punt on 23, okay, right. So I think Moni is saying here that as hard as it is, you gotta, sell. As much as it sucks, you'd be stupid, right? You'd be foolish not to sell.
Yeah, you just would. You gotta do the right. You gotta do the smart thing, and the smart thing is to trade Blake Snell and Josh Hader and get a shit ton back for them, and don't overprice them, AJ, because you could see a situation where at the deadline you're like, well, we tried to move these guys, but we didn't get what we wanted out of them, so we didn't move them. Like, could you imagine that, John? Could you imagine after the deadline, right? Hader and Snell are clearly on the block, and they're in every single rumor, but AJ doesn't like the deal because he doesn't feel like he got enough for him. And then he's like, well, we tried, but we didn't get what we wanted for these guys, and we're gonna keep them around, and then we're hopefully gonna see if we can make a run. Could you fucking imagine that?
Oh, I can imagine it. We just didn't get the deal we were looking for. Why can't the Padres just re-sign Blake Snell? You tell me.
Yeah, I'll sit and wait on this one because it's pretty easy why you don't re-sign Blake Snell.
I mean, because A, he's pitching in a contract year and it's pitching as well as he's pitched as a Padre, and B, length, C, agent, D, what he's going to command. You're going to go write another $100 million plus check to someone and tie up another player into their mid-30s. It's just not going to happen. At some point, you got to say no, and you got to move on. And listen, if he was going to help you get to the postseason or win the postseason, that would have been incredible. That's incredible. That would have been great. But unfortunately, he's producing and nobody else is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's not Blake Snell's fault.
Nope.
Not going to blame Blake Snell. I'm also not going to blame Underdog Fantasy. Play the 7th inning stretch. This fantasy contest is going to start in July. You can sign up right now. Join the 7th inning stretch. Draft your major league team. They will set your lineup at the end of each week. No setup, no waivers, no trades. They do everything. All you do is draft. They take care of the rest. $7 to enter. $150K in total prizes, $30K to first place. Closes July 14th. Sign up now, Underdog Fantasy or UnderdogFantasy.com or on the app. Use promo code PADSWRAP, that is PADSWRAP, and get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Promo code PADSWRAP and receive a 100% deposit match up to $100. Deposit $10, get $10. Deposit $100, get $100. I'm looking at this like, what is this? What am I looking at? It's a KBO. Like, I've never heard of Ewang Young and Ro Si Juan.
Those are the prospects the Padres got from
Jose
Blake
Perella
Snell
higher.
and
I'll take Jose Perella higher. Okay.
Of course.
For whomever, for I don't even know who Sam is. So we'll take Jose Perella. And then we'll get to Major League Baseball. And we'll go
higher on De La Cruz.
Oh, yeah, we kind of said prove us wrong.
Yeah.
Right? The reverse jinx.
Yeah,
so we'll take okay, so again, this bet is Perella, of course, the KBO. And then Tatis and Ellie De La Cruz. Here's the deal. $25 wager pays $150 if you go 3 for 3 in this pick'em. You can insure it, and you can still win just by getting 2 out of every 3 right. Just 2 out of 3, like what the Padres have to do in the second half of the season. So Underdog Fantasy app or the Underdog Fantasy or UnderdogFantasy.com. Use promo code PADSWRAP, PADSWRAP. Get a 100% deposit match up to $100. I wanted to mention this real quick, Jim, as well, before we get out of here on this holiday weekend. As the Padres have lost 6 straight, can I get everyone's opinion on these? So this is why I don't know why this takes us to the Diamondbacks team store. It's on the Padres site, by the way. So let me click on this one.
Because you maybe clicked on the Padres.
No, look at that. It's like they haven't linked improperly.
Whatever. Who cares?
Anyway, this is the National League.
At least they're a good team.
Yeah, maybe that's why. This is the National League All-Star Game jersey. You can click the link pinned in the top of the chat. If you use code SINGLE, you're going to get 25% off site-wide. So if you want these, you can pick them up. Again, click the link pinned in the top of the chat. What do we think of these?
Thumbs up. I think these are really good. They completely botched the first year. They started doing jerseys in Colorado. Just horrific. Last year's jerseys,
so bad.
Last year's jerseys I actually liked because they just were the same font of your team, except it was just gold lettering. So it was like the Padres font, but just gold. And then the so on and so forth with every other team. And I thought that was pretty dang cool. I like that a lot. And the black hats with the gold on it, I thought that was really cool. You have one of those hats.
Yep, I do. I like that hat a lot.
I think this year's jersey is good. It's clean. It's simple. It's not over the top. It's not like these ugly colors. It's I like it. I like it. I would prefer them go back to the old style where they just wear their home and road jerseys, right?
Right.
But we're not going to get that because baseball thinks that they're trying to be trendy. And
let me show you an American League real quick, guys. Just the American League. You've heard of it.
Just go to the Angels.
I know. Whatever. Here's the Emerald.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I like this.
What kind of pants?
Yeah, I think that's cool.
White. Now, if they wear white pants, it'd be really good. But I don't know if they'll wear white pants.
They better not wear emerald pants.
Oh God! Then the jerseys are going to.
Can you imagine? That'll be awful. Then they're going to look like toads or like frogs or like
just wear American League wear white pants. National League wear gray pants. Not that hard.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. That's exactly right. It isn't that hard.
Like it's not fucking rocket science.
It's really not. Guys, if you want those, click the link pinned in the chat. Again, they've got a 25% off site-wide going on right now at MLB Shop. You can click the link pinned in the chat. We'll be back over the course of the holiday weekend, so we'll recap the Red Series at some point on Sunday evening. Look ahead to the Angels coming to Petco Park this upcoming week as well. Okay, please subscribe for here. We're not going to hit 5,000, I don't think, while we're here live, Jim. I haven't looked, but I'm assuming we haven't had 40-plus subs tonight. That would be a huge number for us.
Unfortunately not. We're about 30 away.
Okay, we're about 30 away. You guys have been unbelievable. We got 5,000 guys. Isn't that incredible?
5,000.
You guys got this thing off the ground a couple of years ago. We were on the radio, obviously, a couple of years before that. 5,000 subscribers because of your support of this channel. So if you are here, if you wouldn't mind it, we really do appreciate it, whether you're watching live or on replay. You're helping us get to 5,000, hopefully one day 50,000. Padres fans are watching this thing. We get it. It's been tough. There will be better days. I can promise you that. There will be better days, hopefully coming in the second half of the season. So please subscribe. We really do appreciate it. Please support us on social media, at John Schaefer, at Jim Russell SD. If you wouldn't mind smashing the like button, we appreciate that as well. And please support our partners, Mark Nimitz at Farmers Insurance, our title sponsor. Click the link in the description down below. We'll save you money on your insurance. Aura, ORA.organic. If you want to get healthier, click the link in the description down below. They've got that 25% off going on through July 4th. UnderdogFantasy.com or the Underdog Fantasy app. Use promo code PADSWRAP. Get a 100% deposit match up to $100. Jim, I'm not going to see you for like a month and a half. I'll see you Wednesday in person. I'll see you at some point, I know, over the next 4 days on the wrap-up show. Have a good 4th, everybody. Be safe. Enjoy it. Let's see if the Padres can win some games between now and July 4th. And for Jim, I'm John. This has been the wrap-up show.
Peace.